Good evening and welcome to the J-98 Dream Team Ceremony. My name is Glenn Johnson. I'm sports director at KTJJ and KREI Radio. And today is our Winter Sports Dream Team Ceremony, where we honor 30 athletes in girls basketball, boys basketball, and wrestling, 10 of each, pretty straightforward. And the coaches are going to come up and talk about each of the 30 players that are sitting to my left on the stage today. We're going to have a good time. We ask that, much applause for each athlete that gets honored here this afternoon. And at this point, I want to introduce the members of our staff. I told you about me. I'm Glenn Johnson. I've been at the radio station for 3 years now. I'm going on year number 4. And I've had a lot of fun just broadcasting basketball and wrestling over the years since I've been here. And I've been here 4 years, but Ryan Reinheimer is our sports director at 1400 KJEF, which is our affiliate in Festus. Jefferson County coaches deal with him, and he's been here much longer, well over a decade. Not sure exactly how long he's been here, but he's been doing a great job for us for a long time. Ryan Reinheimer will be the guy presenting the awards to the athletes today, presenting the certificates. Also, Erin will be taking the pictures. She is a member of our sales staff. Jack Sadler is the guy running the camera today, and he does a great job for us. Here lately, we've incorporated more video into our broadcast. We do J-98, KREI, and KJEF web TV on our website, mymoinfo.com. You might see us out and about at events and things like that. And Jack has been doing video work for several years, and we're glad to have him aboard with us because he does a great job. If you hear of an event being on J-98, KREI, or KJEF web TV, check it out at mymoinfo.com because you won't be disappointed. And with that, I want to kind of walk you through our dream team process, what it means to be a dream teamer. How it works is we send out nomination forms to all of our area coaches in the J-98 listening area. And that goes all the way up as far north as Fox High School, all the way as far south as Clearwater High School, down around the Jackson area, Perryville. Woodland High School is involved in the dream team as well. We go far west to around Cuba and as far east as Perryville and even into Illinois a little bit. So it's a wide listening area, a wide group of athletes to choose from. So it's tough to get on the dream team. We're selecting 10 basketball players, 10 wrestlers, 10 boys, 10 girls basketball players, and 10 wrestlers. So with that large of a group, it's really an honor to be able to get on because it's better than being all conference, even all district, and really all region because we don't worry about classes either. If you're all state in basketball, you're all state in your class. We throw all the classes together. So it's an elite group that is sitting to my left today on the stage, and they're going to deserve every bit of recognition they're getting today. But we send out the nomination forms. Coaches pick who they want to nominate from their team. They send those back to us. We compile everything on a ballot, send it back out, and let those same very coaches vote on who makes the dream team each and every year. Us at the radio station, we have nothing to do with it. We just tally votes and basically just compile all the information for the coaches to have what they need in front of them. So every dream teamer that has ever happened through the 35 years that we've been doing this has been voted on by the coaches in the area. We'll get started with the wrestling dream team. And our first presenter, first out of the gate, had 4 state qualifiers this year. From DeSoto, please welcome Coach John Brown to the podium.
First of all, I'd like to thank J-98 for making the dream team possible for all the athletes in our area. The athlete that I'm introducing is Aaron Minks. Aaron, as a junior, has advanced himself greatly in the DeSoto wrestling team. He has excelled as a captain, with this being his 3rd year holding this position. Aaron has earned the most valuable wrestler award for the varsity DeSoto wrestling team 3 years in a row. Aaron has also been a 3-time state qualifier, 2-time district champion, and placed 6th in state competition this year. He is nominated by the St. Louis Wrestling Officials Association for Outstanding Junior of the Year and received a medal from them for his 6th place state achievement. This season he wrestled his way to a strong 53-5 record. His record continued his progression of improving his wins with each season of high school wrestling. This year, Aaron achieved another very exciting goal As of the end of the season of this year, Aaron has won 130 varsity matches over his entire high school career. Also, Aaron was named the Leader Athlete of the Week in December of this season. Aaron has placed at all 18 of the tournaments that DeSoto has completed during his freshman, sophomore, and junior year. Aaron is one of the most dedicated wrestlers on the team. In fact, Aaron broke his hand a week before districts and made a decision to wrestle with that injury. Going on to win the districts at 132 and place 6th at state. Aaron is also one of the few wrestlers that dedicated themselves above and beyond the school season. Aaron does not take time off from wrestling when the school season is over. He has a year-round committed to training and wrestling. He even placed in the off-season Midwest Nationals, placing 5th as a freshman, 3rd as a sophomore, and he plans to wrestle in the Nationals again during this off-season. Aaron is an exceptional wrestler that has skill, determination, motivation, and heart. I am extremely proud to be Aaron's coach, and I am very interested in seeing just how far he will go this senior year. I would lastly like to thank the people that have allowed Aaron to become the wrestler he is today. Aaron's dad, who is my assistant wrestling coach, Don Minks. He has helped Aaron develop the passion for his sport and has helped the other athletes on the team develop a dedication for the sport. Aaron's mom, Lynn Minks, has also been a great part of not only Aaron's career, but is at every meet for all the wrestlers and helps with the team in so many ways. I am honored to be here for Aaron and would like to thank J-98 once again for making this all possible. Thank you.
Before we go any further, I do want to send out a special thank you to St. Genevieve High School. Jeff Nix, St. Genevieve Athletic Director, and Melissa Otto, who's in charge of the theater here, the Performing Arts Center, this beautiful facility. When the March 24th Dream Team ceremony was canceled, we didn't have a backup date planned, and we were kind of scrambling. I was trying to find an open date with Mineral Area College, who's always very gracious in letting us hold the ceremony there, but they were all booked up with plays. So I remember St. Genevieve football coach Bob Stolzer telling me one time at a football show we do called the Football Roundtable during the fall at Buffalo Wild Wings, he said, you know, if you ever need a place to hold that, we've got that new Performing Arts Center in St. Genevieve. So that popped in my head, and I called Jeff Nix. He got me hooked up with Melissa Otto, and she worked with me and allowed us to hold this ceremony here. It's a great place to do this, and possibly a place we're going to be doing it in the future. We'll see. But could we get a big round of applause for St. Genevieve? Our next presenter has been a 5-time Coach of the Year in wrestling, and that's pretty impressive because it's only been around, the Coach of the Year for wrestling has only been around 10 years. Please welcome Farmington Knights coach Mark Krause.
I want to thank J-98 for putting this on, and they do a great job of coverage for our sport. It's a hard sport to cover, but they do a good job getting updates and keeping people up to date on it, and I appreciate that and putting this on. Like they said earlier, it is an honor to be mentioned in this and be even nominated, but then to be a member of the Dream Team year after year is a tough thing to earn, and all these athletes have done a great job to be part of it. I'm lucky enough to have 3 athletes on the Dream Team this year. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose 2 of them, our seniors, but I do have a freshman. First one that I want to introduce is Colin Hewitt. Colin is the son of Andy and Sherry Hewitt. Colin has been in our youth program for a long time, and knew when he was coming to high school we were getting a good one. But it is a big adjustment to from kids wrestling to high school. To throw somebody in the middleweights, especially, or upper weights, you're wrestling a lot more mature people a lot of times. But Colin has made that transition very well, and part of that is because his parents have worked hard to get him ready in his youth wrestling. So I was happy to get him, and it's been neat to see him continue to grow throughout the season. Like I said earlier, it's a big adjustment for a freshman. We tend to wrestle a pretty tough schedule at Farmington. We go all over the state trying to find the best competition, go to some of the biggest tournaments in this part of the country. So it's hard on a freshman, and Colin handled it very well. First of all, Colin's a honor student. He's got a 3.8 GPA, plays football and also golf during the spring, and he's also working his tail off in the off season with wrestling, coming in and trying to make himself better. But as far as his season, you know, when he came in early in the year, like I said, I knew he was going to be a good one for us, but it's a big transition. I think his biggest thing that held him back at the beginning was his mental part of wrestling. I think at times he let that get to him. Physically, you could look at him, he's a gifted freshman, so he didn't have an issue with that, and he worked his tail off. He was always in great shape, so getting him to overcome the mental part was his probably biggest obstacle this year, but he has done that in a lot of ways. There were times he'd have lapses in matches, but as the season went on, he learned to push through those and didn't have those lapses. So he has done something, and we've had some pretty good wrestlers in Farmington, but he's done something I can't remember anybody doing as a freshman. He led our team in wins, he led our team in pins, and he led our team in takedowns, which is saying a lot to lead in all those categories. And to be wrestling as good a competition as he sees all year. I think he finished the season with 43 wins, had a great freshman year, finished as a district champion, finished as a SEMO conference champion, and finished fifth at the state tournament. We're looking for big things for Colin in the off season and in the regular season his next 3 years. Colin Hewitt. My next athlete is Austin DeSold. Austin is the son of Al and Carla DeSold. They've been very supportive, and I appreciate all their support through Austin's 4 years. He came to us as kind of a different story. He was a little bit raw in wrestling, but he made himself a good wrestler. He's a very strong, very tough athlete that just wanted to do well. And you know, he's behind some good wrestlers his first couple years, but he made himself better. Especially his junior year, I saw huge improvements with Austin. He worked hard in the off season. He got stronger and just continued to get better. I think the turning point for his high school wrestling career was the end of his junior year, though, where he pushed himself over the top, or decided he's going to get over the top. You know, he probably doesn't want me mentioning at the end of at the district tournament, he was winning a match in the bubble match to qualify for the state tournament, and he made a mistake. Ended up losing a close match and didn't go qualify his junior year. And he decided at that point that he was going to work harder and not let something like that happen again. He learned to wrestle close matches, and he did that by getting more experience. He came in the off-season, worked really hard, went to the national tournament with us and competed at a high level very well. And then this season was really consistent all year. I don't know how many overtime matches he won, but it was a ton, and he won a lot of close matches, and that's tough to do. Knowing how to win close matches and not lose those tight ones is tough to do, and it says a lot for how mentally tough he is, and also how physically tough he is, and how hard he works. So to see him make those huge improvements and decide he was going to do it by hard work was neat to see. I was very proud of his season he had. He was a big part of our program this year, well, all 4 years, but this year especially, and as a captain was a good leader. He's not real vocal, but he works hard, and he does some good things in the room to be a good leader. He's a two-time varsity letterman, or three-time varsity letterman, and also he's a letterman in football and plays golf. He was a SEMO conference champion for us this year, as a district runner-up. I know he doesn't want to hear runner-up, but he was in one of the toughest weight classes, I think, in this part of the state, if not all over the state at 195. I think all 4 guys placed at the state tournament from his district. I know the guy who beat him in the finals finished second. He finished third at the state tournament, so that's saying a lot for his weight class and how tough it is. But he had a great season, finished with 43 wins also, and was a leader on our team with Colin in number of wins. He also finished as a conference champion, and was finished 5th at the state tournament this year. Had a great season. I'm sorry. You got it. Third at the state tournament. I'm ahead. Ryan was fifth. I'm sorry. He was third at the state tournament, and thank you for correcting me. And had a great state tournament again. Beat some guys that had beat one guy that had beat him earlier in the year. So it's nice to always get those wins over somebody that had beat you. So great career for Austin. We're going to miss him. He's going to be he's going to go to Rolla and punt, I think. So he worked very hard at that also, and looking for big things out of Austin. Also a great student, going to be an engineer. So looking for big things out of Austin. We'll miss him. Austin DeSold. My third athlete is Ryan Wadlow. Ryan is the son of Randy and Laura Wadlow. He's got a knee brace on him. It's a story in itself. He's had some tough breaks in his high school career, but he's fought through them and done a great job, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. But Ryan's another strong student. He's a 3.4 GPA. He's going to go to engineering school. He hasn't decided where yet, but he'll do well wherever he goes. You know, as Ryan came into our program, he was another youth club guy that had wrestled for a long time. He kind of gets set in his ways, and his ways weren't always the same as my ways as a freshman. And I had to learn him a little bit, and he had to learn me a little bit. If you've been around me, I kind of get excited, and I yell a lot, and I'm pretty intense at times. And probably I learned, and I hope he learned as a freshman. I was talking to him after a match that I thought he should have won, and he made a mistake, and I was just yelling. Not at him, but he thought I was. And I said, "What's wrong with you?" And he looked at me and said, "I don't like to be yelled at." Okay, that's hard for me, but I wasn't yelling at him, but it's a different personality. So I learned from that, and hopefully I didn't yell at him as much, but I get excited, and I think we learned to work together. I hope he knows how much I care about him. I appreciate all he did, but he had a great career for us. You know, again, last year he broke his hand and had to finish the season with a broken hand, and this year he tore his ACL. He did that in December. He's got a torn ACL, torn MCL, and meniscus. And you know, most of the time people are done for the season, 6 months at least, probably before they get back. He knew if he had surgery, he was done for the season, but he recovered. He let himself recover for about a month, got it stronger, and put a brace on it, and decided he was going to wrestle with it. And it's an amazing story to be able to do anything with ACL torn, but to be able to compete at such a high level that he did with that ACL was amazing. When he tore it Kansas City, he finished the match without a brace. He wrestled 2 more matches, next one without a brace. Wrestled a 3-2 match in the 5th place match at one of the toughest tournaments in the country. Can't say enough about how tough he was and how amazing that story is. But then he came back in January, finished the season for us, and was a district champion. Again this year, and dominated. You know, he beat the number 2. They could have finished second at the state tournament. Just unfortunately ended up on the wrong side of the bracket and had a kid the one that beat him that ended up a state champion. But he finished 5th at the state tournament after struggling through with that tough knee injury. He's had a great career. I think he was a 3-time conference champion for us, a 2-time district champion for us. Finished with 136 wins in his career. A great career at Farmington High School. Ryan Wadlow.
It literally looks painful for those guys to have to stand out there in the middle of the stage. My dad used to tell me about things like that. It builds character. So you'll grow from it, and you'll get better as people. That was usually followed by a slap on the back of the head, which could explain my bald spot. I got smacked a lot. Coach Lohman knew me as a kid, so she probably wanted to smack me a few times herself. Our next presenter sent 8 wrestlers to state this past season, and usually has multiple wrestlers on the Dream Team every year as well. It's Coach Ben Knoll from Herculaneum.
I'd like to start by thanking J-98 and KJ for their dedication in providing recognition, not just for these athletes on stage, but also for all of our athletes all season long. I'd also like to thank the coaches for their votes. Once again, I get the privilege of introducing 2 athletes this year. Prior to these two, our school has never had two members on the Dream Team. These two have been elected 3 years in a row. Our first athlete is Brian Duncan. Brian is an excellent teammate and a good role model for younger students. He volunteers as a tutor for kindergarten students and always sets a good example in practice. He credits his mother, Jennifer Alley, for instilling the importance of hard work in him. On the mat, his skills are exemplary. As a sophomore, he was 32-9, first at districts, a semifinalist at state, and fourth at state. As a junior, he was 45-2. He was a district champ for the second year in a row, placed third at state, and led the team in pins with 39, breaking the old school record of 30. This year, as a senior, he went 43-2. He was first at Afton, Rittner, Vianney, and Owensville. He won his third district title and went on to win a state championship, just the second in our school's history. The Post-Dispatch named him to the All-Metro team. The St. Louis Wrestling Officials Association named him Outstanding Senior of the Year and on the All-Metro team. His career at Herculaneum was only 3 years long because he moved in his sophomore year. He finishes at Herky with a 120-13 record with 96 pins. He was a 3-time state qualifier, 3-time district champ, 3-time state medalist, and a 3-time Dream Team member. He set the school's all-time record for pins in a season and has the second highest single-season mark in wins. He credits his mom, his teammates, and his coaches for his success. It is with great pleasure and pride that I introduce Brian Duncan. Our next athlete has been hanging around our program since I got there 7 years ago. He is an excellent student in the classroom. He credits his study habits to the strong support of his parents, Julie and Keith Coons. He became a member of the National Honor Society as a sophomore and earned state recognition in the Duke Talent Identification Program as a 7th grader. He led our team first semester with a 4.44 GPA and is currently ranked #1 in his class. He is also involved in the Varsity Letterman's Club, Foreign Language Club, Caring Cats Theater Club, and he volunteered as a table worker at Little League tournaments and built a balance beam for our preschool program. On the mat, he was a state qualifier as a freshman. As a sophomore, he was 34-9 and finished 4th at state. As a junior, his season was abbreviated due to injury, but he persisted. He finished with a record of 30-3, was district champ, and placed 3rd at state. He led the team in takedowns and was co-most valuable wrestler of the team along with Brian Duncan. This year as a senior, he went 44-2. His only 2 losses were to state champions. He was first at Afton, Brentwood, Vianney, and Owensville. He won his 2nd district title and went on to the state finals where he finished 2nd. He wrestled the entire tournament with a torn MCL. He finishes at Herky with a 133-29 record with 294 takedowns. He was a 4-time state qualifier, just the 3rd in our school's history, 2-time district champ, 3-time state medalist, and a 3-time Dream Team member. He set the school's all-time record in takedowns in a single season with 138 and has the 3rd highest single season mark in wins. He humbly credits his coaches, teammates, his brother Keith, and his workout partner Brian for helping him along the way. He will most likely continue his education at Arizona State University next year. It is with great pleasure and pride that I once again introduce Herculaneum's other 2013 Dream Team member, Kyle Coons.
Our next presenter is the reigning wrestling coach of the year, but I don't think David Pierce was able to make it today. Coach Pierce? No, so I will introduce his wrestler, his Dream Teamer for him. His wrestler is Jared Shepard for the Hillsboro Hawks. Please, big round of applause. Jared Shepard, 220-pound weight class senior for the Hillsboro wrestling team. He was 3rd at state at the 220-pound weight class this year as a senior, 3rd at 195-pound weight class last year as a junior. He was a state qualifier as a sophomore as well. 57-1 this year was his record with 42 pins. And he holds the Hillsboro record with 167 career wins and also a record for 104 career pins. He's also an all-state football player, pretty good student as well in the classroom with a GPA over 3 on a 4.0 scale. Another big round of applause for Hillsboro Hawk Dream Teamer, Jared Shepard. Next up, he didn't have to go too far for today's Dream Team ceremony. He had 12 state qualifiers this year. From St. Genevieve, welcome Jared Bonnell.
Good afternoon. Once again, I'd like to thank Dream Team for hosting this and J-98 for finding a way to put this on with, I know, some short notice. I'd also like to thank Melissa Otto for working with J-98 to help hold this. And I'd also like to congratulate all the athletes on their accomplishments through the year. It's a pretty big deal to make the Dream Team, and it's something to be held with value. My first athlete is Cole Reynolds. Cole is a senior this year. He's son of Jamie and Ann Reynolds. Cole has a GPA of 3.1, so he's pretty solid in the classroom. His season record was 48-5. Cole, like I said, is a senior, so I'm going to discuss some of his career accomplishments. Cole is a 4-time Westminster finalist, a 3-time champ, 2-time Tiger Classic champ, 3-time Branson Invite finalist, and he was a 2012 champ. He's a 4-time SEMO Conference finalist, 2-time champ, 4-time district champion. Cole placed 3 years at the state tournament. His freshman year, he placed 4th at 106 pounds. I guess it was 103 then. It's changed a little bit. In 2011, he placed 2nd at 106. In 2012, he had some medical issues. He didn't have the state tournament he would have liked to. He was still very competitive throughout the year, just bad timing. And in this year, 2013, he placed 3rd place. He wrestled an outstanding state tournament, and I wouldn't have changed anything other than, you know, how he ended it, but he wrestled a great senior year. Cole is very involved in several clubs and organizations other than wrestling. Cole is a part of the Spirit Committee, German Club, FTA, and worked as a cadet teacher in the mornings at the elementary. He bounced back and forth between cross country and track throughout his high school career. I don't think Cole ever likes to take a break. He's always got to be doing something. Most year Cole has been a 3-sport athlete, which seems few and far between with athletes these days. Cole is always very eager to help whomever he can and has always done what I've asked him. I believe this kid has been a great leader for us for 4 years. I truly believe he'd give you the shirt off his back if he knew it'd help the team. Just an outstanding young man. Cole finished his career 181 wins, just 26 losses. He captured the school record for most wins. Among his 181 wins, he recorded 88 falls. Cole has decided to attend McKendree University, in which he's going to pursue a degree in elementary education while continuing his wrestling career. Cole has a bright future, and I wish him the best of luck. Cole Reynolds. My next Dream Team athlete is Daniel Tarana. Daniel is son of Tony and Cheryl Tarana. Daniel is also pretty outstanding in the classroom. He holds a 3.9 GPA, and he's been on honor roll throughout his whole high school career. Daniel's record this year was 44-4. He recorded 30 pins this year. His career, one thing that's kind of special about Daniel is I kind of nabbed him up from the basketball coaches his freshman year. After his freshman year, and he would have been so successful, even more successful than he was, having that extra year. And he came in so green, and he worked extremely hard and kept after it. And that's the kind of things you need from these athletes, you know, just a kind of clean slate, you know. He's a great kid and a very hard worker. Daniel's career accomplishments: he was a 3-time Westminster finalist, 2-time champ. He was a 2-time Tiger Classic finalist, 3-time SEMO Conference finalist, 3-time Branson Invite finalist, 2-time champ, 3-time District 1 champion. Daniel qualified his first year wrestling for me in 2011 as a sophomore. His junior year he placed 6th, and his senior year he was a runner-up in the Class 2 state championships. He's also been a 2-time academic All-State. Daniel is very active in his school. He has been part of the NHS from 2011 to current, and has been president since 2010 as well. Daniel has been involved in a number of clubs and organizations such as football, Spirit Club, basketball his freshman year, track, FCCLA, French Club, Student Council. Daniel also volunteers for organizations such as Relay for Life, Bike for a Cure. He helps out like USA Wrestling tournaments and things like that. Daniel has been a great leader on our team. He leads by example, not only in the wrestling room, but throughout the school as well. He has been a great role model for students of all ages. He spends his year mentoring the freshman class and also volunteers his time to read books to the elementary students. Daniel has finished his wrestling career 120 and 21, and out of those 121s, he recorded 70 by fall. Daniel plans to attend Valparaiso University after high school. While there, he will be pursuing a degree in international business as well as continuing his football career. There is no doubt in my mind that Daniel will be successful. His work ethic, drive, and determination will ensure his success throughout life. Daniel, it's our honor. Last but not least, my next Dream Team athlete is Travis Jones. Travis is son of Larry and Kelly Jones. He is a solid GPA 2.5. He recorded, his record this year was 49-2 with 31 pins. His achievements for this year: he's first place at Westminster, undefeated at the Farmington Dual Tournament. He's first place at Tiger Classic, second place at Branson, first place at SEMO Conference. He was 2013 district champion. Travis won several team awards this year, which included most takedowns, most wins, most pins, and most valuable wrestler. Travis was also the 2013 Class 2 state champion at 126 or 120. This is his second state championship, so it's a pretty outstanding achievement. You don't see too many kids win one state championship, let alone back-to-back, and just be a junior. Just recently, Travis competed at the USA Wrestling National Tournament up in Cedar Falls, Iowa, where he All-Americaned. He placed 5th up there. He had probably one of the toughest draws I've ever seen in a bracket, getting the #1 kid in the country in his weight the first round, and then wrestled, I think, 6 or 7 matches back-to-back to stay in the tournament, and ended up placing 5th, beat some very good, outstanding young men around this nation. Like I said before, Travis was a defending state champion. Last year we found out after a season that he had a torn labrum in his shoulder that he needed repaired, and there was some question going into the season this year if Travis's shoulder was going to hold up, and whether he would even been able to participate this year. As soon as he got the go-ahead, Travis was back to training. Once wrestling started, like I said, I was a little nervous in the mindset. I knew his body was ready when he got the go-ahead with his doctor, but as Mark Krause was talking earlier, it's a mental game just as much as physical sometimes. Travis, the preseason conditioning was one thing, but actually having the wrestling was different. Travis struggled off and on this year with some discomfort, but by the time the big competition or match rolled around, he was able to put together in his mind. Travis had a great drill partner all along, which was also one of our Dream Team candidates, Cole Reynolds. He was pushed daily by his partner, and I think that Travis would agree that a lot of success comes from the people around him that are always pushing him and making him go to tournaments, and not necessarily making him go, but pushing him to tournaments, and his partner in the room pushing him every day. You know, it's funny, last year people were afraid of Travis, you know, for Travis because he was really good on the being on top in wrestling, and this year I think they were just afraid, period, to walk out with him. For the second time in 2 years, he wrestled the kid he lost to earlier in the year in the state finals match. He is now a two-time Missouri State champion and is in a hunt for his third state championship next year. I give you Travis Jones. Congratulations, guys.
If you ever want to do something fun, shake the hands of 10 wrestling dream teamers all right in a row, because you will not feel your hand for like 30 minutes. I did that my first year here, and I'm never doing it again. It's time to announce our coach and player of the year, wrestler of the year in this case for wrestling, and we'll start with the wrestler of the year. Before I do, though, I want to remind whoever our wrestler of the year is, make sure you come up to center stage, get your plaque handed to you by Ryan, and then pose for your picture. And then as soon as you get your plaque, you don't need to stand there anymore. You can, or as soon as you get your picture taken, you don't need to stand there anymore. You can go ahead and go back and sit down. Then we'll announce the coach of the year, and we'll ask that the coach comes up and says a few words. So our wrestler of the year was a heavyweight and was a senior this season. Went 43-2 and was a state champion, three-time district champion, third at state in 2012, fourth at state in 2011, three-time Dream Team member and three-time state qualifier, Brian Duncan from Herculaneum. And then for our coach of the year, we actually had a tie this year, and we'll ask them both to come up. Actually, I'm not even sure if one of them's still here. Mark Kraus from Farmington. Coach Kraus? Yep, okay. This is Coach Kraus's 6th time being wrestling coach of the year.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for this award, the coaches especially, and J-98 for putting it on. Anytime you get an award, it's due to the kids that you get to coach, the kids that I had in the room. I can't say enough about how hard they worked, and you know, some years you have kids that you have to push and you have to always be on, but this year, the last couple of years with these guys, it wasn't like that. We enjoyed it. It was a very pleasant to go to practice, and you enjoy going to practice. I never dread going with these guys, and it says a lot for the type of athletes I have, and that's the reason for this award. I thank my wife and family for putting up with me never being around also. Wrestling is, like most sports, is full-time all year long. We're at tournaments, and if you're not going to have these guys sitting up here, but thank you again.
And again, it was a tie for Wrestling Coach of the Year. So our other wrestler, it's actually his first time, Wrestling Coach of the Year. It's his first time receiving the award. Actually wrestled for Coach Kraus, Jared Bynell from St. Genevieve.
I'd like to thank J-98 again. Obviously, my peers and mentors over the years, you know, I respect all the coaches that I go up against and I see throughout the year, and they've been very influential throughout my lifetime. Like Mark said, he took most of the words I was going to say. You know, it's a great job. You know, it's a fun season. It's nice coming in, doing something you love, and not dreading, you know, going to practice. You know, these kids work their tails off all year long, and that's all you can ask for. I'd also like to thank my family. Like Mark said, our wives and are kind of widows throughout the wrestling season, but you know, they support us and they're a good support system at home, and I just want to thank them, and I thank everybody.
Kind of telling that each of those wrestling coaches had 3 wrestlers on the Dream Team this year. And Coach Kraus, you know how to grow them. One more big round of applause for the Wrestling Dream Team. And with that, we turn the page to girls basketball for this year. And unfortunately, our first presenter in girls basketball was unable to attend today. I understand Coach Waddell from Arcadia Valley just had a new baby, so he's attending those matters, and I just did too, so I know how that can be. But a big round of applause for Coach Waddell and his new baby. And then keep that going for assistant coach at Arcadia Valley, Wade Buckman.
Good afternoon. Just want to say thank you to J-98 for putting this whole dream team concept together. Thinking about listening to the amount of achievements, accomplishments that these athletes have garnered over the year is pretty incredible when you think about it, and the fact that you've got all this sitting on one stage at one time. So it's something to be very proud of. I'm going to start with the player chosen from Arcadia Valley, Anna Thomas. Anna is the daughter of Martin and Carolyn Thomas. She, in only 2 years of basketball, has done some pretty great things for us. She's been a 2-year varsity starter over a span of 53 games, always ready to play. During her freshman year, averaged almost 13 points a game, and then sophomore year improved on every aspect as far as her statistics goes, but doing so in a fashion where, I mean, she is a team player and does it the right way and wants to do it the right way, which just makes it even better for us as coaches when you've got kids like that. And besides being a student who's making the transition from being a good basketball player to great, she's also just a great kid. Seeing how she conducts herself off and on the basketball court, seeing how she does in the classroom as well academically. In addition to doing what she does with basketball, she's also got a 10.9 on an 11-point scale GPA, which puts her as the #1 in her class, which is also pretty awesome. And besides playing basketball, she's also just this year started to do cross country, which she is just about as successful at when it comes to some of these honors. Excuse me, basketball, she's gotten first team all conference, all district, second team all region, and the dream team this year. Cross country, last fall, she ended up with all district honors, team all state, individual all state. She's been instrumental in making a big shift for us in our girls program at Arcadia Valley, going to a 21 season, which is something we haven't done in a while, and she's been a big part of that. And we've made some big philosophical changes, and she just wants to win. And she's a leader, has been a captain the past 2 years, captain as a freshman on the varsity team, but does so in a quiet manner, kind of lets her game, lets her work ethic speak for her. And, it's that approach that she takes to it all, humility and wanting to learn as much as she can, which I'm excited to see where that takes her, not only in basketball, but into life, as she gets older. Again, she's a hard worker. She's always putting time in, working on her shot, trying to stay in shape, continuing to play basketball even when it's not basketball season. Again, very coachable, willing to do whatever it takes to help our team become great, make that transition. Again, she's a student of the game, great athlete. Anything she does well. And, thinking about this past season, she's just ready to play. Could be to where she steals a basketball on the court, she wears knee pads because she's always on the floor. Steals the basketball, gets knocked down, slides across the floor, maintains her dribble, and then keeps going. Or it could be that she's so excited, ready to play, that she ends up getting the wrong ankle taped before the game, and then says, "Coach, I got the wrong ankle taped," and then we have to tape the other one, so then she ends up with 2. But, she's just ready to play. So I'm excited for her, and I'm honored to be able to present this for her as well. I've actually had the honor to see her grow from an elementary student when I used to teach elementary to I actually coached her as a middle school basketball player, and then now to see what she's doing as a high school player, and I'm just excited. And Anna Thomas.
Our next presenter got her team hot at the right time. Despite entering district play with a losing record, it didn't really deter the Bismarck Lady Indians from reeling off a bunch of wins and winning their district this year and making an appearance in the state sectionals. Please welcome Bismarck coach Katie Martinez.
Thank you. Well, I'm honored to be here to introduce Darcy Latham. This is her first time as a dream team, as a dream teamer, so please welcome Darcy Latham. Most people would recognize Darcy for her volleyball achievements. She's a great volleyball player and is a dream teamer this year, but she's also an incredible basketball player. This year, she averaged 19.1 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, 3.8 steals, and 6 assists. She was first team all-conference, first team all-district, first team all-region, and second team all-state. Darcy's a 3-year starter, and despite her age, I've always looked towards her for being the leader of my team, even as a freshman. We've had lots of young teams, which is pretty typical of girls basketball. This year, she led a group of 7 girls total, most of them underclassmen. We struggled throughout the season, but Darcy kept a positive attitude. She pushed and carried these girls and got them to the district championship. So it's something we're very proud of. Going into districts, we were on a 5-game losing streak, and we came the first round. And one of the things I want to talk about her is my favorite moment this year is when we played Orion in the first round. It was a tight match. We could have easily given up. And she came down the third quarter, hit a 3, pretty typical of Darcy, comes down again, steps back even further, banks in another 3, and now we're really excited. Comes down again from the 10-foot line of the volleyball court, because now they've extended their defense. From the 10-foot line, puts up another 3, swish. She goes crazy out in the middle of the court. She's excited. The coach has to call a timeout. And that just epitomizes what she does for our team, because our girls will follow her anywhere. And when she's up, the whole team gets up. And at that point, the girls said, we can do this, and we just pushed on through the next 3 games, defeating the #1 seeded team in the district, and then Chaffee in the championship final. And that's just an example of the kind of person Darcy is. She never gives up. She always has a positive attitude. I wouldn't trade her for any other player in the world right now, because I'm just so proud of everything she does for us, and I'm lucky to have her another year. So, Darcy Latham.
Our next presenter led his team to a 20-win season this year, where they finished runners-up in their district. From Clearwater, Darren Garrison.
I'm here today to introduce Lexi Morris. I'm a numbers guy, so I'll go over some numbers real quick. This year, Lexi averaged 28.5 points a game for us, 6 rebounds, 51% from two-point land, 40% from three-point land, and she shot 84% from the free throw line. Those numbers are great, but if you think about, she was the first one in the gym. When I walked in the door, she was already there, and when I left, she was still in the gym shooting. I don't ask any questions how she got in, because my administrators probably don't want to know that, but I was tickled to death that every time I walked in, I could look up and I'd see or hear that ball bouncing, and Lexi was in there working. That's indicative of her drive and her work ethic, and I think that's what's led her to the success that she's had so far this year. I'm looking forward to 2 more years with her and even more success. To kind of run down the list, she's involved in FBLA, Student Council, Beta Club, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the Varsity Club. She's got a 3.8 GPA. This year, again, she was named to the Black River League All-Conference team. This year, she was named Player of the Year in the Black River League. It's the second year she's been named to the all-conference team. She made all-district first team, all-region first team, AP all-state team, first team for the second year in a row. And then this year, the Coaches Association voted her to the first team all-state for them as well. Lexi scored 1,000 points in her career, and that's 10 games into her sophomore year. So she's definitely got some shots in the air the last 2 years. She now holds the school record, the single game scoring record for 45 points. She scored 798 points this year, most by far of any athlete at Clearwater High School. And she's a great kid to be around. I truly appreciate her desire to win. You know, if we're shooting free throws, if we're playing put out, you know, if whatever we're doing, she wants to win. And you can't beat that in an athlete. I know there's some people in the stands that are coaches today that either played with me or played against us or played against each other. And back when we were playing, everybody was a gym rat. You know, the coach had to beat you out of the gym, had to take the basketballs away from you. And as a coach, you don't see that very often. I think whether it's a wrestler or whether it's a person sitting on this stage for basketball today, I think we can truly all say that these people are gym rats. And I thank the Lord every night I go to bed, I've got a gym rat in Lexi Morris. This year, I'll close by saying I'd like to introduce to you one of the best shooters in the room, Lexi Morris.
Coach Bell could have used Lexi against Charleston this year. She's that good. All right, our next presenter was unable to attend today. Ethan, you know what I'm talking about. Our next presenter was unable to attend today. Kim Kingsland is the DeSoto Dragons head coach, and her and her daughter are out with the AAU volleyball team, and they're competing today. Kelsey Kingsland is also a very good volleyball player. But here to introduce Kelsey Kingsland in her stead is Steve Kroedinger of DeSoto.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd just like to thank J-98 for everything they do. I'm the assistant varsity coach at DeSoto, and so it's a pleasure to see J-98 in the gyms, listen to on the radios over the years. It's exciting to turn on a radio on a Friday night and listen to a basketball game when you're not able to attend, and listen to a lot of these young men and women up on the stage. Listen to them succeed. Kelsey would also like to thank all the coaches and everybody that supported her this season in recognition for this dream team. Kelsey is the daughter of Mike and Kim Kingsland. Kelsey has an older half-sister, Brittany, two younger brothers, Austin and Bryson. Kelsey's obviously not on the stage tonight. She's out of town. She's playing in volleyball, which she's trying to pursue. She hasn't decided if she's going to go to the next level at volleyball or basketball, but she's a very talented young lady, and she definitely is going to have the option to decide which sport she'd like to be, and so she's pretty lucky that way, and that's a great accomplishment to her. So she's in Kansas City this weekend, and that was probably Kim texting me right now. If anybody doesn't know who Kelsey Kingsland is, her mom is the head basketball coach at DeSoto High School. And so as being the assistant varsity coach, I've had to sit in between them quite a few nights on bus rides, on the bench, at practice, and everything else. A lot of stories there, but I'm not allowed to tell you that. That's what Kim told me, so no stories like that. Kelsey's a hard worker. Her work ethic is undeniably one of the best ones in the state, I would say. She gets up 4 days a week at 5 o'clock in the morning, comes to the gym, works on her shot, does weightlifting. That's even before school starts. 3 days a week after school, she's working on her jump program. She does agility training and works on her jumping skills, which helps in volleyball and basketball. Her goal is to reach 10 foot, and she hasn't got there yet, but I believe she'll get there. She's going to get up on that rim before her senior year. She carries a 3.9 GPA, and her only B+ is in her non-weighted advanced math course, which doesn't count against her. This season, as Kelsey, as an athlete, at volleyball, she received unanimous first team All-District and second team All-Conference. In basketball, her freshman year, she was unanimous first team All-District and Conference. Her sophomore year, she was first team All-Conference, All-District, Player of the Year in our district, and all-leader team best player in Jefferson County. Her stats read as this for this season. She averaged 16 points a game, 9.4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 4.2 steals, and almost 2 blocks a game. She went to the free throw line 172 times this year, and she made at 60%. She also told Coach Crow, which is me, that she's going to improve on that, and trust me, she will. She's in the gym. She's a gym rat. She's in there every day, and I got no doubt about it, that will improve. Kelsey was born when her mom was the basketball assistant coach at Jefferson College. She has literally grown up playing basketball. But more importantly, Kelsey has the love to compete. Her dad would ask her when she didn't know the direction she wanted to pursue in college, if she had the chance, basketball or volleyball, what would she pick? She said, well, I would pick the sport that I'm playing right now. That's the one I love. So that really wasn't the answer he wanted to hear, but that's where she's at in life. So we're real proud of her, and I know her parents are too. Kelsey has also watched athletes like Jane Lapel from Stanford and Brittany Griner from Baylor, and looks to strive to be just like them in life, on the court and off the court. She knows what it takes to get to the next level, and she knows there's no shortcuts to hard work. Last spring, for instance, she was on the varsity soccer, varsity track, high school, high-performance volleyball 1 and 2 teams, 2 volleyball teams. I told them they were crazy. Warriors basketball and Gateway Select basketball, 2 basketball teams. Crazy again. She literally spent most of her spring and summer on the basketball or volleyball court somewhere in the United States. She was close to St. Louis and as far away as New Orleans and Wisconsin, and I can add Florida in there too. This spring and summer, she will continue to hit the hardwood, playing basketball for the Warriors AAU team, and again for volleyball for Team Elite, who is currently ranked 22nd in the nation. Kelsey is also a faith-driven young lady. Faith is an important part in her life and her family's. She also knows that the gift that she has of athleticism is something that God has blessed her with, and she is thankful for that gift and is trying to use it in the way that God would want her to. I'll give you 2 good examples. There's many, many more, but the first one was we played Fredericktown. We had autism night. We have a little manager that has autism, Brooke Kirby. Well, Brooke Kirby has really taken a liking to Kelsey, and Kelsey's taken a liking to Brooke, among other girls on the team. We set it up with Fredericktown, which they were nice enough to do, and the young lady, Brooke, got to play in the JV basketball game the first quarter. Well, we was deciding, as I handled all the uniforms, and I said, Coach, we don't have enough uniforms. I don't have a uniform for Kelsey, or for Brooke. And Kelsey said she can have my uniform, which is just awesome, because that's the girl on the team that you would know would just offer whatever she had right there from the beginning. Well, lo and behold, I come to find out Brooke and Kelsey are really great friends, and they seem to hang out and goof around in school, and sometimes they have a hard time getting to class on time. So we're still working on that. But Kelsey is a fantastic girl that goes up and beyond what she needs to do. Kelsey also goes on weekends, and after everything else is done in her in school and athletics, she goes over to Pony Bird and helps the kids for an hour or two, tries to at least once a week with the special needs kids. Gets down on the floor with them, plays with them. It's an awesome sight. She's going to kill me for me telling her all this, but she deserves everybody to know what she does, because she's a great girl, and I'm really proud of her. And I know her mom and dad are too. Last but not least, I'd just like to say thanks, Kelsey. I know you're going to be listening to this. I've pushed you hard, like my own daughters, and you really rose to the occasion, and I appreciate that. She's a shining example of dedication and drive. One of the quotes that her and her mom quote all the time would be from Coach John Wooden. "I will get ready, and then perhaps my chance will come." No doubt about it. Kelsey's getting ready. She's just waiting for the chance. Thank you.
From 2006 to 2010, our next presenter was Coach of the Year in girls basketball 5 straight years. That's never been done before. The closest anybody's gotten to that is 3 straight years. Please welcome Farmington Knights coach Steve McFarland.
All right, I want to start off again like everybody else. I don't want to be the only one to forget. And thank J-98 for this opportunity. You know, ever since I started coaching, the Dream Team has been an important thing for the athletes. They look forward to seeing who makes the Dream Team, and for the coaches, and they like to see their players get recognized too. And like you say, it's a little different honor being a regional area. It takes in a lot of different conferences, so that always makes it special. And I'd like to thank J-98 for this opportunity again. It's my pleasure to introduce Rachel Williams of Farmington. She's the daughter of Kate and David Williams, and she's not here. She is playing volleyball someplace. I have no idea where, but she's always playing volleyball somewhere. So we'll just run down through what she's accomplished, and hopefully she's doing well wherever she's at. Rachel's a 4-year starter for us at Farmington. She's played in 109 games during her career, scored over 1,281 points while pulling down 684 rebounds. Both of these statistics are currently school records. She shot, for her career, she has shot over 48% from the floor, 34% from three-point range, and 69% from the free throw line. And as any of you coaches know, that's pretty good statistics anytime, but when you do it over a 4-year span, that's really outstanding. This year, Rachel was our team captain. She was our leading scorer. She was our leading rebounder. She was second on the team in steals and second on the team in assists. So she had the team's best field goal percentage and three-point percentage. In my infinite wisdom last year, I had her playing in the post, and she was our best three-point shooter this year. So I don't know how I won all those awards. Her other honors this year include she was all-tournament team for the People's Bank tournament in Sullivan this year. She was a unanimous first-team all-conference choice, Class 4 District 2 all-district team, Class 4 first-team all-regional, KFMO Girls Basketball Player of the Year. She was selected as a MAAA Senior All-Star, and she was second team All-State by the Missouri Sports Writers Association. During her 4 years at Farmington, Rachel's helped lead her team to over 70 victories, 3 undefeated conference championships, 2 conference tournament championships, 2 district championships, 1 quarterfinal appearance, and 1 Final Four appearance. Next year, Rachel plans to play volleyball at the University of Arkansas Little Rock. Miss Rachel Williams.
It was your personality that got you all those awards, Coach. Our next presenter, in just his first year with the Fredericktown Lady Cats, turned Fredericktown from a 5-win team to a 19-win team this year. And he had a lot of help with some good players too, but a heck of a coach, Adam Barton from Fredericktown.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks to J-98, and congratulations to all of our athletes, parents, coaches, and everybody on a great job and a great season. I'm here today to present Miss Tara Helm. Tara is the daughter of Terry and Tammy Helm. Tara, I've only known for about a year. I've only had the privilege of coaching her for 1 year, and that is probably my only regret for our season, as I didn't have full 4 years with her. I think she's a very special young lady. I'm definitely going to miss her, and I hope that she'll come around and continue to show good leadership in our program, even though she won't actually be in high school anymore. To me, Tara was the very definition of a student athlete. Many basketball accomplishments like everyone up here, all conference, all district, all region. This year she actually surpassed 1,000 points for her career, ended up with just shy of 1,200 points. She was a 4-year varsity starter, 2-year captain, 2-year MVP of the Fredericktown team. And just recently, just this week, she actually signed a letter of intent to play with Mineral Area College. So wish her the best of luck there, and I want to tell her congratulations again. Off the court, Tara's a member of the Beta Club. She's ranked 21st out of 160 in her class, and is currently completing the A+ program. She actually is a student aide in my classroom. She works with middle school students and helps me in there, and they really like her, and she does a great job doing that. You know, probably the thing that I'm most proud of with Tara is not necessarily stats or basketball accomplishments. You know, those things were great, but we come into this year, her senior year, you know, brand new coach, with the exception of 2 other seniors. You know, we had a lot of 8th graders coming in, 9th graders moving up, girls she had never even met before, and she'd never played before, certainly. And, you know, a lot of new things for her to deal with. You know, and as a senior, sometimes all that newness can be tough, and it can be very, very difficult for them to handle. And just to be honest, it can create a bad situation. Tara not only handled this situation perfectly, but she was actually the one who brought it all together. A lot of new names and faces, and you know, she was kind of the common bond between the younger girls, myself, you know, the sophomores, and you know, she was kind of like the mother hen of the team, I guess you'd say. And I know all the younger girls really respected her and looked up to her, and really thought a lot of her. And I can tell you now, you know, we had a great year and we had a lot of success, and it is in no small part due to her leadership and her love for the game, respect for myself and her teammates. And you know, I just can't say enough about the job she did this year as a senior, leading our team and helping turn our program in the right direction. She will definitely be missed. I'd like to say in closing, you know, Tara, I've really enjoyed the last year. I appreciate all you've done. And like many of these kids up here, you know, Tara was the first one in, last one to leave, and you know, that's not a cliche, you know, that's true. That's the reason for so much of her success. And I just want you to know I'm very proud of you, and I wish you all the best of luck at MAC, and you know, don't be a stranger, okay? Thank you. Tara.
On KREI, our AM affiliate in Farmington, we do Mineral Area College basketball. We cover their games, and I just get really excited when Dream Team athletes, or any athlete really from the area, goes to play for Mineral Area College, because then I get to watch them for a couple more years. I'm sure Ryan feels the same with Jeffco. We do their games on AM 1400 KJEF. So can't wait to see Tara play. I know this past season, the Mineral Area College men's basketball team just went to the national tournament. They're one of the top 24 teams in the nation, and 2 local guys were a part of that, Bryce Wybrecht from Perryville and Jackson Conaway from Viburnum, and both contributed to that team. So I'll get my shameless plug in for MAC. Go to MAC if you have a chance and play basketball. Our next coach, not to make you feel old, Coach, but you were there for a while when I went to school there. I graduated from 2004, and still there and still doing great things with the Perryville Lady Pirates. Led the team to a JCAA Conference Championship this year. Vicki Lohman from Perryville.
And and he doesn't have the bald spot for me. I wasn't his teacher, but I saw him in the hallway. I'd like to introduce Natalie Grimaud. Natalie is an outstanding athlete in 3 sports. Her volleyball statistics are amazing. I'm not her volleyball coach, so I sometimes get a little jealous on that. But she also made the dream team on the volleyball side of this. She's a soccer athlete also and has outstanding stats in that. Natalie is a 4-year starter for me, 4-year member of the basketball team. She hasn't started all 4 years. She is a 2013 All-Tournament team for Kelso Holiday Classic. She recently was chosen to the BA All-Star team. She is an All-District 2012 and 2013 member. She was chosen All-Region last year and this year. This year marks the 3rd year that she has been selected to the All-Conference team in Jefferson County. In 2012, she was Player of the Year, and again this year, she is Player of the Year for Jefferson County. The season statistics are definitely an example of her dedication. Her totals represent an increase in all the statistical areas. This year, she scored 459 points, 18.4 points per game, 306 rebounds, 12.2 per game, 82 steals, 36 assists, 59 blocks. She's been a 2-year captain for me. Her career totals, and she only scored 6 points as a freshman, she scored 940 points, 644 rebounds, 107 assists, 187 steals, and 135 blocks. She will be attending Mineral Area College next year on a volleyball scholarship. She is the daughter of Glenda and Ted Grimaud. Natalie Grimaud.
I think a lot of these athletes can back me up on this. There are coaches at every high school that, the kids kind of, think to themselves or maybe think out loud that, they just have so much respect for a coach maybe that's been there for a long time or does a great job at their programs. I know when I was growing up at Perryville High School, Vicki Lohman was one of those for us. People want to go out and play basketball at Perryville because Vicki Lohman is the coach. So if I did make you feel old, hopefully I made up for it with that. Our next presenter, also unable to attend today, Lauren Porteau from Potosi, but speaking in her stead is Tyler Beers. Please welcome Coach Beers to the podium.
I'd like to introduce Emily Gibson. Emily was a 4-year varsity player and senior captain this year. She averaged 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. She was selected first team all-conference, all-district her junior year, and her senior year, she was selected to the second team all-region team. It was a privilege to coach Emily. She deserved every honor she received and worked very hard this season to earn them. Multiple times, she stayed after practice to improve her free throws and her outside shot. Emily didn't think that she was a very good outside shooter, but I kind of changed her mind a little bit. I know Emily has a bright future ahead of her, and I am proud of everything she's accomplished and was privileged to be a part of it. I know next year Emily will be going to Maryville. I don't know if she's decided if she's going to play basketball or not there. It's still up in the air, but I know she will be successful with anything that she does. Thank you, Emily Gibson.
Our next presenter was to be St. Pius head coach Aaron Portell. Actually coaches boys and girls basketball at St. Pius, but unfortunately he was unable to attend today. But I will be speaking on behalf of Coach Portell about Alex Linderer. Do we have Alex here today? Okay, well, a big round of applause anyway for Alex Linderer. Alex has been a starter since day one of her basketball career and was the leading scorer at St. Pius. She was that consistent scoring threat from the perimeter that they needed every game and is the main reason for the remarkable season. St. Pius went 20-3 this year. There's a bright future for Alex, and if she continues to get better and stronger, she will be graduating as the best female basketball player to come through St. Pius. The best female basketball player to come through St. Pius if she keeps it up. And those are the words of Coach Portell for the Lady Lancers. Another big round of applause for Alex Linderer. Next up, it's another first-year head coach, but again, a great season for a first year at the helm of the program. Led the Lady Cardinals at Woodland to 18 wins. Please welcome Robert Stein.
I would like to also add my thanks to J-98 for putting the Dream Team on. To date myself a little bit, the first time I realized the Dream Team existed was when Richard Williams from Eminence in 1987 got it. And when you're from the hills, that's a really big deal. So when I have an athlete here today that was also able to achieve that award, it was pretty exciting for me. We talk a lot about team awards and individual awards and work and effort, and this young lady exemplifies that. I'm here to present Josie Long. Josie is a three-sport athlete. She has multiple awards in every sport she plays. She's probably the most athletic girl that I've ever had the privilege of being around. Right up there is Sarah Woodard from Greenville when I was a boys coach there. She did not lose one wind sprint or line drill at any point all year long. She consistently outruns the rest of her team by an entire length of court, which speaks to her work ethic and her individual drive. Because as some of these athletes up here can tell you, when you're much faster than everybody else on your team, it's easy to take some time off and not work hard. She has been part of the best record Woodland ever had last year. In the history of our school, they were 16-8, and she was a large contributor to that. And this year, we were able to achieve better than that even. So she holds the greatest record her team does ever achieved at Woodland High School at 18-6. She also, for the first time in the history of our school, we were in championship games of both the Chaffee Invitational Tournament and the Delta New Year's Tournament. And she was a major part of that. She is the founding member, the first member in the history of our school in women's basketball of the 1,000-point club, which she achieved this year against her old coach, Gary Pointer, which I think was kind of nice for her. Her individual awards are numerous, but this year she was a Class 3 District 2 first teamer, All-Southeast Region team, second team All-State team, and she's also a member of the All-Southeast Missourian team. She is an amazing person to coach. She works extremely hard, and she does the best she can to do everything you ask her to do. She's a great player. She's a great athlete, and she's a great individual when you catch her walking the halls. One of the things that we preach at Woodland is to make sure to bring everybody in together as a team. And as a boys coach, your challenges I've found are considerably different than they are as a girls coach. And I've really enjoyed this my first year as a girls coach, and I know at the beginning of the year the girls thought I was a little bit crazy. By the end of the year, I'm fairly sure they're all a lot crazy. To go with Coach Garrison, I'm also a statistics guy. I'm not gonna break them down quite as hard as he did, but she has by far one of the best seasons that I've seen. She averaged over 21 points a game. She averaged over 10 rebounds a game. She averaged over 7 steals every game and more than 4 assists, almost 5 assists a game. One of the lines that I heard and one of the reasons I became a coach was Dean Smith and the way he talked about his players from North Carolina. And one of the jokes I heard growing up was who is the only person in America that can stop Michael Jordan? And they used to say Dean Smith. I would like to apologize to Josie because the only reason she did not achieve a triple-double season this year is because she played less than, in 7 games, she only played a half, and she still had those statistics. 3 different games, she outscored the other team all by herself. In 12 games at halftime, she was outscoring the other teams. So lucky for me, I have her for 1 more year, and I'm really excited to be able to say that, and I'm hoping that we have a great year next year. Ladies and gentlemen, Josie Long.
I say this every year in every ceremony, but schools like Woodland and Clearwater and a few others that are kind of on the outskirts of our listening area, I'm always proud of our coaches when players like Josie and Ethan Roach and Lexi Morris get voted on because they don't play area teams in our immediate listening area as much because they're on the outskirts. They're playing more teams down south, or for the case of the teams up north, they'll play further up north. So a big deal when Josie Long makes the dream team, or any player from Woodland or Clearwater. And it says 2 things, how good of an athlete they are, but also how knowledgeable our coaches are of the basketball in the area, that they don't just look inside their conference when they vote. So I want to thank the coaches for that. With that, it's time to announce our Player of the Year in girls basketball. This was the closest vote of this Dream Team ceremony, who our girls basketball Player of the Year was going to be. And remember, whoever does get the award, come and accept your plaque at center stage, get your picture taken, then you can sit back down. 18.6 points per game for this senior, who stands at 5'9" and wears number 3 on her back. 12.7 rebounds per game, and has been a Dream Team athlete 2 times. before, and it is Natalie Grimaud from Perryville High School. And for our Coach of the Year, this one was a little bit more unanimous. We had a few votes for other coaches, but this coach received much of the voting for the work he did with the Fredericktown Lady Cats. Adam Barton.
All right. Well, first off, thanks for everybody who voted for me. You always say, it don't make any difference to me, but it does feel good. I admit it. And I really appreciate it. And it's always nice to be recognized and know that your hard work has paid off somewhat. A lot of people I have to thank here. My family, obviously. Like he said, gone a lot, put in a lot of time. Fredericktown School District. I want to thank all my parents and my girls. They were very supportive of me. We know that sometimes that ain't always the case, but they were very supportive and were very helpful to my program in any way they could be. I want to thank Coach Johnson from Hillsboro. He's here today. He's been one of my best friends since I was a kid. He's actually the person who got me into coaching, brought me in as his assistant 5 or 6 years ago. And, if he hadn't done that, I don't know if I'd have got into coaching, or definitely wouldn't know if I'd be here right now doing this. And lastly, most of all, I want to thank my girls. I just can't say enough about them. I feel like I've thanked them a million times, but it still ain't enough. Their hard work and dedication was the whole reason for our season. I think sometimes coaches get a little too much credit and a little too much blame, in my opinion. Hard-working kids who care about one another. And that's probably the thing I was most proud of with my team this year. Wasn't necessarily wins or losses or anything like that. It was that we were always smiling and laughing and having fun. And I told the girls, I said, if you ain't doing that, then there ain't really no point in any of this. So that's probably what I was most proud of. I can honestly say, I enjoyed every day I had with them. And it was a very special year. And again, thanks to them and everybody who voted for me. Appreciate it.
I interviewed Coach Barton when he got the job at Fredericktown, and at the time, Eric Thompson, the boys coach at Fredericktown, was doing really good things with the Black Cats, still is until he just stepped down a couple of weeks ago. But I asked Coach Barton how long he thought it would take to, kind of get the girls team to where the boys team was. He said, it might take a little while, but, we'll get it there. And it took them one season, so a deserving winner. One more round of applause for the girls basketball dream team. We move on to boys basketball now, and our first presenter, Derek Simonson from Bismarck High School, unable to attend today. He went back home to one of the Dakotas. I believe it was North Dakota. Yeah, North Dakota. So he's back home there. But presenting in his stead will be girls basketball coach for the second time today, Katie Martinez.
Thank you. I have the honor of speaking about Ryan Johnston today on behalf of Coach Simonson, who was unable to attend. So, Ryan. Before I go on and share what Coach Simonson's remarks, I'd like to add a few words of my own. I've been Ryan's advisor since 7th grade, and also being a coach, from Bismarck, I'm very interested in everything we do, including our boys program, so I'm in the gym a lot when the boys are practicing. And Ryan's one of those kids who's dedicated a lot of his time to his sport. Basketball and baseball, but he's in the gym a lot. He even comes in during a lot of my girls' practices. He'll be on the sideline shooting. It's just, he's a student athlete. As his advisor, I've watched him grown as a student. He's participates in a lot of things in school. He has really good grades, is very dedicated to everything he does. So personally, I think he deserves every award he's gotten. He's worked very hard. Coach Simonson said Ryan was the leading scorer with 18.9 points per game, leading rebounder with 12.3 per game, and led in blocks with 2 a game. on a team that was 22-5. They won the Valley Invitational Tournament Championship, were the co-MAAA Small School Conference Championship, and Ryan was named All-Conference First Team, All-District First Team, All-Region Second Team. Coach says the best thing about Ryan is he is only a junior. He'll be returning for one more year of basketball. Ryan made a huge jump from his sophomore season to his junior season, and his potential for growth from his junior to his senior season is going to be completely up to him. Ryan is talented, athletic, and has plenty of size to be successful in basketball. He'll be moving into a captain role next season with the loss of 3 seniors on his team this year. He'll be expected to do even more for the team next season. Ryan put up the numbers he did on a team that was really run by 3 seniors, all of whom scored double figures per game as well. I am proud of Ryan and what he achieved this season. The honors are well-deserved, and God has blessed him with quite a bit of talent in the game of basketball. I hope he continues to work hard, stays humble, and achieves even more next season. Congrats, Ryan.
It's kind of hitting me as I present these coaches. We had a lot of successful first-year coaches this year. In his first season as head coach of the Central Rebels, he led them to a 21-win season, district championship, and brought the Central Christmas Tournament championship back to Central for the first time since 2001. Mike Harlow of the Rebels.
Thank you. I would like to echo the thoughts of the other coaches as well. I want to thank KTJJ for all the work they do with our local high school sports and for putting the Dream Team Banquet on. And I also wanted to thank KTJJ on behalf of Darren Garrison, because he was the only coach who didn't thank him. So Darren, I'm doing that for you. There you go. I've known Darren a long time. We were college roommates and grew up playing basketball against each other and together. I want to recognize today Drew Skaggs. Drew Skaggs is a senior. He's a 3-year starter for Central. He's the son of Phil and Teresa Skaggs. I also want to thank Phil and Teresa. They have spent many hours, time, and money taking a lot of our boys and girl athletes. They have 2 outstanding girl athletes as well who play for our girls basketball team, and they take a lot of kids around the state to play basketball at their own expense and continue to still do that. So I do want to thank Phil and Teresa for doing all that. Drew, again, as I said, is a 3-year starter. One thing about Drew was it's always tough to come into a situation with a new coach your senior year. Drew handled it extremely well. Not only was he our best player, but he was also our hardest worker. You know you're going to have a special team when your best player coming back accepts a role different than what he had the year before. Drew had to play point guard his junior year, and then this year, kind of like Coach McFarland, in my infinite wisdom, I put one of our better shooters in the post. And you know, Drew understood that although he was a great 3-point shooter and good perimeter player, and is probably going to play that on the next level, he understood that for us to be successful, he was going to play in the post. And I think a lot of area coaches would agree he was a nightmare for a lot of people in the post this year and had an outstanding season. So I think him taking that kind of role just shows what kind of person he is. He was an outstanding leader. A funny story about Drew, I think I've told a few people this. When I first started coaching him this year, one of our first few practices, we were having some practices without our football players. They were still having their season going on. And I don't think Drew understood how to really take me yet. One of our first practices, we're doing a drill, and I bring Drew out for a demonstration and get down in a defensive stance and show him what I wanted to do and get my hands up there and I come up, and I hit Drew in the nose. And all of a sudden, you see this blood start trickling. I see him with him look on his face like, this guy's crazy. I said, Drew, does your nose bleed easily? He goes, nope. So I don't think he knew how to take me really well. Then probably wasn't even a week later, we're doing another drill. And of course, being the smart guy that I am, I put our best player, I use him as a demonstrator for a drill. We're doing a charge drill, and I have Drew get out there and take the charge, and I run into him a little bit too hard, put him on the ground, get up, and his lip's bleeding. And I'm thinking, I know he's thinking, and probably a lot of our teammates are thinking, what in the world are you doing? Here's our best player, and you're going to have him sidelined because of injury before the season even starts. So Drew took that in stride, and I'm glad he didn't quit on me and didn't think I was that crazy. some of Drew's stats this year. He averaged 21 points a game, 9 rebounds. He shot 58% from the field. One thing incredible about the 21 points a game is that Drew averaged 21 points a game and only 12 shots a game. I always begged him to shoot more. As I often told him, my dad never had to beg me to shoot. But it was always tough because I couldn't get Drew to shoot a lot. But shot 58% from the field, 70% from the free throw line. He averaged 3 assists a game, 3 steals per game. And being the best player on the team and the leading scorer, it's also different or not as usual that your best player will lead your team in charges and attempted charges. And Drew did that as well. That, again, tells you what kind of player he was. He would dive on the floor for a loose ball. He would take the charge. He had no regard for his body. So he's that kind of player. He's a team player and one of the most hardest working player I've ever been around in my life. Drew finished his career with 1,016 points. He surpassed the 1,000-point mark in the district championship. He also, and Drew also had an outstanding career in the classroom as well. He had a 3.3 GPA. Some of his honors include unanimous first-team all-conference, first-team all-district, first-team all-region in Southeast Missouri. He was a KFMO Player of the Year and a member of the MAAA Senior All-Star Team. As Glenn had mentioned earlier, Drew was the main reason that our team achieved the 21-7 record, Christmas tournament champs, district champs, and sectional qualifier. We played Sykeston. They were pretty decent. Played them in the sectional. Again, Drew was a joy to coach. I had some really good players that I coached back in the mid-'90s at East Carter County, but I can say that Drew is probably the best player that I've ever coached, both offensively and with his work ethic. He was great on and off the floor. He was a leader. As many of his coaches have talked about, he is a gym rat. He was always the first one to the gym and the last one to leave, and that's the reason he is where he's at today. So Drew plans on playing college basketball next year. Where is undecided. He's taking some tryouts right now and some visits, and we should see him playing next year somewhere, hopefully even close to home. Drew Skaggs.
Coming to Mac. Sorry. I am the voice of the Cardinals, so I'd love to see you there. Our next presenter led the Tigers to the Black River League tournament title, the OFC tournament title, and the team's first district title in 10 years this year, and did all that without Lexi Morris. Lewis Bell.
Thank you. Would like to congratulate all the players up here on the stage. We know it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, sacrifice, not only by you, but by also your families. I'd like to thank the Dream Team, the banquet that you guys put on, and also the coverage that you guys give all the area teams throughout the year. I'm here to introduce Ethan Roach. Ethan Roach averaged 19 points a game this year, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 53% from inside the three-point line, 39% outside the three-point line, and 82% from the free throw line. Ethan finished his career in the neighborhood of 1,500 points. He was a leader of our team pretty much since halfway through his sophomore year. We had a very young team of sophomores and juniors that year, and we needed somebody to step up. He never shied away from that and has held that leadership role since then. He led us to a 24-4 record this year. We played in 4 tournaments, and we played in the championship of all 4 tournaments, losing the Arcadia Valley on a last-second shot at the buzzer, and then turning around and winning the Black River League, the Ozark Foothills Conference, and the district championship. And that was the 3rd district championship for the boys program in Clearwater history. Ethan was a 3-time Black River League All-Conference player, 3-time Ozark Foothills All-Conference player. He was 3-time All-District player, 2-time All-Regional player. This year he was a Black River League Player of the Year, was on the BA All-Star team. This is his 2nd time being on the KTJJ Dream Team, and also was on the Sports Writers All-State basketball team this year. So as good as an outstanding basketball player that Ethan has been for us, he is that good or better off the floor. He is a very unselfish player, like we talked about. He is a team leader. He, in numerous games this year, scored in the low to mid 20s in the first half of a ball game. The most points that Ethan has ever scored in the game is 30. I would try and get him, I'd leave him on the floor, trying to get him to come out in the second half and get some shots, and he would just almost refuse to shoot the basketball. Was never worried about his own personal stats, would make sure that the other players on the team got some shots up, especially the ones that didn't get to play as much of him. So at the time, I'd kind of give him a look and a glare, but inside I was really pleased with the maturity that he has. Again, he was never worried about his stats. He was worried more about the other players on the team. Ethan is a 4.0 student, will be a valedictorian this year. Treats everybody with respect on and off the floor, very high morals. His parents, Doug and Peggy Roach, I know they're extremely proud of him, with good reason to be. He is an outstanding young man, and I've been blessed to have him on my basketball team my life the last 3 years. Ethan Roach.
Crystal City Hornets coach Sean Breeze was unable to attend today. His athlete also unable to attend today. Brian DeGear of the Crystal City Hornets is actually attending a concert choir contest in Kansas City today, and former choir guy myself, I can appreciate that. So I'll speak about Brian DeGear. Can we get him a big round of applause? These are Coach Sean Breeze's words from Crystal City. Brian DeGear finished his senior season averaging 17 points, 10 rebounds, 4.5 blocks, and shooting 82% from the free throw line. He also had 2 triple-doubles, 14 points, 10 rebounds, and a 10-block game against Festus, and a 13-point, 15-rebound, 11-block performance against South Iron, triple-double numbers. For his career, Brian finished with 1,063 points, over 700 rebounds, and 250 block shots. He was a 4-year varsity player and a 3-year starter. Though his numbers are good, his main contributions were in non-statistical categories. His presence alone on the defensive end of the floor took some of the stress off his teammates guarding the perimeter. Being the only returning varsity player his senior year, the leadership role that he took on with his younger teammates was as much a factor in finishing with a 15-12 record as any shot that he ever hit. He finishes a career with many honors, 3-time Jefferson County Small School All-Conference player, including being named Player of the Year this season, a 2-time All-District selection. He was selected to the Union All-Tournament team and twice to the Crystal City All-Tournament team, including MVP of that tournament this year, his senior season. Brian's great character and positive attitude have been a great reflection on the Crystal City basketball program and the Crystal City School District. Congratulations to Brian for being selected to this season's Dream Team from Sean Breeze. And that brings us to another first-year coach who had a pretty darn good season. First year with the Dragons, he led them to 16 wins. DeSoto Dragon coach Jeff Genowine.
All right, first I would like to thank J-98 for putting this on. This is a very good deal for everybody here. Second thing, it's a privilege to introduce our senior captain, Sean Solomon. As Coach Harlow said earlier, that it is hard for kids to adjust for a new coach and everything else. Sean took that in stride, had a very successful season. He was, Sullivan Shootout MVP. He was all-conference first team, all-district first team, nominated for the area all-star game. He was the all-leader team. He led our team in field goals, 3-point field goals, points per game at a little over 16. Most free throws made at 78. Most on the team in assists, 5.5 per game. Most steals per game at 1.5. Most deflections as well.
not only was Sean our best player, but he was also our hardest worker. In the offseason, he led our team in most shots taken in the offseason, in season. He came to play every day, and which made him a great leader. Sean's a very unselfish person. He just wants to win. There were several games where he was, receiving a lot of double teams when he got it. He didn't have as many points, but he got he made everybody else better on the team by making several assists and making several plays. Sean's a great person. He's a model student. He comes from a great family. He has a great future ahead of him. He will truly be missed this year. As one of the coaches said, he was, I never really thought about this much, but one other coach said that, this person was the best player he's ever coached, and I start to think about that, and Sean is the best player that I've ever coached, and he will truly be missed. He's undecided on where he's going to college. He's kind of in the same process of, going to tryouts and those type of things, and whatever college ends up with Sean is going to be a lucky college. So thanks again for everything, Sean Solomon.
For our next presenter, it was his first year back at the helm of the Farmington Knights. His second stint with Farmington led the team to the MAAA Conference regular season title and the MAAA tournament title as well. In 8 total years of coaching the Farmington Knights, the guy has not ever had a losing season. It's Justin Callahan for the Knights.
Yeah, and actually, the Dream Team banquet, did a couple of these in the past, back in the day, and I just sitting there thinking when I did it before, I had hair and I didn't need these things. But times have changed. Thank you, J-98, of course, like all the coaches have said. I do appreciate the coverage. And honestly, you just do an outstanding job in our local area. The local media, all of you guys do a great job. The web TV is really, really nice. Heads up people, family, friends who couldn't attend the district game. District championship game. We got to see that on a web TV, and that's pretty exciting. Good. So thank you guys for all that you do. All right, it's my privilege to get to announce Farmington's representative for the Dream Team, Jordan Ankrum. Jordan is the son of Kirk and Rochelle Ankrum. Jordan is, or was this year, a unanimous all-conference selection. Didn't make the all-district team. He was second team all-region. Jordan is an excellent student, 3.36 GPA. Of course, Jordan just a sophomore. As a sophomore, led our team in scoring and rebounding. Like Darren did say earlier, a couple of coaches, we are number guys. I am a number guy. He had 17.5 points per game. That led us in scoring. Rebounds, 7.8. Shot 53% from two-point land. 31% from three-point, which he was mid-30s most of the years, tailed off there right towards the end. They're very good all-around, shooter inside and out. Free throws, he shot 70.5 for the year, which kind of the reverse of the three-point. He was low 60s for most of the year. Down the stretch, we actually had a game. We shot 0 for 5 one game against Jackson, didn't make a free throw, lost by 2. So we, as a coach, all the coaches in here know, by the time they get to high school, it's hard to change a shot. So free throws, if you go through all these kids, you watch them shoot free throws, they're not all the same. The forms can vary, but I didn't mess a whole lot with them by the time, when I took over this year. But at that point, I thought, you know what, we're shooting low 60s as a team, over 5. It's like costing us games. We're going to change. Here's how you're going to shoot free throws. And I said, this is how you will shoot a free throw regardless. And if you miss it, that's great. You can blame it on me if you miss. So, but Jordan didn't really need to change much, but I think he tweaked it just a little bit. From that point on, the last 8 games, he shot 88%, and at one stretch made 32 in a row. So a very good free throw shooter down the stretch, and I think that'll carry over next year. An assist, we talk about numbers, total assists, total turnovers. I don't look at that, but look at Ratio, I think you at least want a kid to have a 1-to-1 ratio. If it's below one assist to turnovers, then there's probably a little bit of a problem. Jordan kind of struggled early, as a sophomore. He played last year as a freshman, but I think he took that to heart. We talked about it as a team, and over the course of the year, he got to a point where he had that 1-to-1 ratio, where he had one more assist than turnovers for the year. So again, I think that's going to continue to improve next year. So I've known Jordan for a while. Since my son's a junior, with Jordan being a sophomore, the baseball teams, basketball teams that they play on, different leagues and stuff. So I've seen him around. Known his parents for a while. Didn't really know him real good. Real well. Didn't coach him when he was younger. I didn't know him real well, but after getting to know him this year, I think I know him pretty good. Kind of hard to read at first, but Jordan is just extremely hard worker. Like all you coaches, I guess that's why they're here. But he's a hard worker, extremely competitive. I don't have to worry in practices about when we're doing drills, kids going hard, because like when your best player is a hard worker, they're all going to go hard. And Jordan is very competitive, does not like to lose. So that makes it good for the coach. Great character. He just goes out and lead by example. Every practice, there wasn't one practice, one time I can ever think of him taking a drill off or a minute off. Just always gave his best, and that's why he's here as a sophomore. So I'm looking forward to next year. Again, I know his work ethic. He's busy with baseball right now. He's an outstanding catcher for a baseball team. But I know, when he gets the time, he's working on his game. I know this summer he's going to work on it. He's going to be better. So, his future plans, I know what they are. He's going to be playing basketball next winter for Farmington High School. And I don't see him as a sophomore, being a junior. I don't see him leveling off. I think there's a lot of upside potential. I think that those skills, those passing skills, decision skills, the shooting, I think it's all going to get better. And I would be very surprised if next year I'm not having to sit right here and talk about Jordan again. But so, again, it's my honor to present to you Mr. Jordan Ankrum.
Next presenter led his team to a 20-win season this year. Welcome to the podium, Hillsboro Hawks head coach Dan Johnson.
Thank you again. Like everyone else, justifiably so, I'd like to thank J-98, KTJJ, KJFF, Ryan Reinheimer for all your coverage and your late night calls and texts. You guys do a great job. I'm here to recognize and present Taylor Hassel. Taylor, from a numbers standpoint, averaged 14 points a game, 7 assists, and just under 5 rebounds a game for us this year. He had multiple games where he had 10 assists or more in a game. Kind of an odd deal you don't see very often. Taylor actually led our team in points and assists, so he had to score it and distribute it as well. Did it all, did a great job with it. It's also third on our team in rebounds at just under 5 rebounds a game. And, I think that number alone kind of can kind of explain Taylor Hassel to you, maybe just from a rebound standpoint. If you take a look at Taylor, and I give him shots at this all the time because, I'm a little more, God gifted me with a little more verticality. But, he's not gifted with, tremendous size and or, athleticism, right, Taylor? He is a better athlete than his teammate Jake Brooks, though. But Taylor has gotten every ounce of everything he can get out of himself. Other coaches talked about guys being gym rats. Taylor was the ultimate gym rat. In there, not necessarily in there first, because we have a little difficulty during the season about, when he gets there. He likes to slide in 5 minutes before, but he will stay after, and he will come in on the weekends and text me and, Coach, can I do this and that? And, his work ethic has been incredible, and he just was a great leader for us all year. Taylor is a 2-time Jefferson County All-Conference selection. He was on the All-District team this year. He was a St. James All-Tournament team, made our Steighorst All-Tournament team. He was selected to the Jefferson County All-Star game, which they won this past Friday over a St. Louis County team. Taylor was also the Jefferson County Large School Player of the Year this year, which is a good honor as well, along as with being a Dream Team player. I've had probably, my relationship with Taylor is more unique than I've ever had with any other player. This is my 7th year as a head coach, and Taylor this year should probably have gotten a portion of my salary, but I'm sure there'd be some kind of MSHA infractions to go along with that. But he truly, took a lot of the coaching stuff out of my hands. Just give you a little bit of background on Taylor and how that relationship kind of progressed. When I took over at Hillsboro 3 years ago now, Taylor was transitioning from a freshman to a sophomore, and he'd coming off a season where he was injured and didn't get to play a lot, and he came in and was just a little guy that could handle it a little bit and could play a little bit, but I never envisioned at that point him being a big time player for us as a sophomore. And as the season progressed and some things went on, Taylor started showing a lot of flashes. We practiced him varsity, but he started showing a lot of flashes in JV games. And then we had some kind of things take place with one player on the varsity being ineligible, and all of a sudden we just threw Taylor in as a starting point guard. At that time, we were kind of hovering a game or two over 500, and then in our last 11 games, we won 9 out of those 11. One of them being a big win over DeSoto, and then a district championship win as well. So, in my great knowledge as a coach, had I played in varsity all year, we might have won 25 games. Who knows? But the next year, last year, he after losing 9 seniors, he carried our team pretty much again, scoring and assists and all those kind of things. And this year, just really took charge and was a true point guard. He's a coach on the floor. He knew everything that we had as far as X's and O's and all that kind of stuff. And I could literally tell Taylor, well, if this is the defense this is probably how they're going to play us. So here's 2 or 3 things that you can do, and don't worry about looking at me. Just call it. And in a varsity game, when things are going so fast, that's tough. That's tough to do, and that's tough to put on a high school kid. And he just did a great job of it. He's got an incredible feel for the game, and he's fun to coach and fun to watch play the game. Obviously, unless you're a coach probably playing against him. So that's Taylor would just he was truly a coach on the floor, and it made my job a lot easier, and I could focus on other things because I knew that he was going to run our team in a positive manner, and led us to a Jefferson County Conference championship this year and 20 wins, and just a great year for us. Outside of basketball, Taylor's a great person as well as a student. His parents, Nick and Stacy Hassel, have raised a great young man. He comes from a great family, tremendous support from them, and he's got a 3.8 GPA. He's actually going to attend. He had some opportunities to play some college basketball at a few different places, and has decided to take a full tuition scholarship to SEMO on an academic scholarship and go there for 4 years. As far as his major and all that kind of stuff, I can't exactly remember what you call the major. There's so many of them out there, but he has talked about how he would like to come back and do some coaching. And if long hours and not very much pay and a lot of stress is something that you're into, then coaching is definitely a route you want to take. But he's heady, and like I've told him, he'll always have a spot on my staff if he'd like to come back and get a start in doing that. And whatever he decides to do in the future, he'll be successful at. He's a great leader, great family, and just overall a great kid. And what I'm going to miss most about Taylor, I'll probably have a different answer come November, December next year, but it really doesn't have to do with basketball. It's just through life. Like I said, I have a really unique relationship with Taylor. I can talk to him about different things in a different way than I have been able to talk to most of my players and students throughout the years. And I'm just going to miss our conversations about life in general, and seeing him and his positive attitude rub off on others, and up and down the halls, and just being the face of our of our basketball program. He's really set us in the right direction. I appreciate that. I thank you for it. And, as Coach Barton said earlier, don't be a stranger. I know you won't be. You'll just be right down the road at SEMO. So, come on back and see us. Taylor Hassel.
Long hours, short pay, and high stress. Sounds a lot like radio. Am I right, Ryan? Before we go any further, I'd like you to open up your programs to page 7. You'll see a lovely page there titled Sponsoring Businesses, and those are all the businesses in our community that sponsor the Dream Team. Most of them sponsor it each and every year. So I would like you to please do some business with those folks if you could, because the more you do that, the more chance I have at getting a raise. And as I told you earlier, I have a brand new baby girl named Rebecca Lynn Johnson, and I could use a little bit extra money. So shop with those folks. Next up, I'm going to get fired. Our next coach is Dylan Higdon. It was his first year with Potosi this year, and although they struggled to get wins with a young season, he had one of the best upsets of the year in the first round of district play against Fredericktown. Please welcome Coach Higdon.
I would also just like to thank J-98. It's awesome to be able to get the media exposure for these kids, especially to reward all their hard work. We got some great athletes and some really hard workers up here, and all these kids deserve to be up here. I am here to present Dylan Coleman. You know, as a sophomore, we asked a lot of Dylan. He averaged 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks. He also shot 50% from the field while getting a lot of attention from the other teams. Again, as a sophomore, to be your leading scorer, to get the attention that Dylan got, that a lot of these kids get on the court, I mean, it's difficult as a senior. It's really tough as a sophomore, especially when you're expected to perform on a nightly basis. And that's what these kids are able to do. That's what Dylan was able to do, and that's why he's in the position that he's in. He was first team all-conference, first team all-district, and second team all-region. He's a great worker. He's a good athlete. He's a heck of a baseball player. I'm extremely fortunate to get to have Dylan for 2 more years. Our program is moving in a great direction because we're fortunate to have a player like Dylan on our team. He pushes our other players. He pushes me as a coach. I know that I need to make him the best player he can be, and he deserves that from me. And I try to give that to him each and every day in practice and try to continue to get him better. He has a huge upside. He has a lot of improving to do. I think he'll tell you that, and I try to tell him that as much as I can. Because potential means nothing if you don't live up to it and you don't work hard. And again, these kids are examples of what you can do with potential. So thanks again to J-98, and thank you, Dylan. I look forward to a couple more years of you getting better. Thank you.
Okay, next up, again, Aaron Portell was unable to attend today. He's also the girls' basketball coach at St. Pius and normally pulls double duty at the Dream Team ceremonies because he usually does have one of each. But again, not able to attend today, and neither was his athlete, Garrett McDowell, unless he walked in late. Do we have Garrett today? No, so no Garrett McDowell today, but let's get a big round of applause for Garrett McDowell. And I will speak on behalf of Coach Portell, and he prepared a statement for me to read on his behalf, and this is what he had to say. Garrett is the son of Dave and Mary McDowell, and it's been an honor to coach this remarkable young man for the last 4 years. Garrett's the main reason for the boys basketball program's recent success, 3 winning seasons. He's been a great leader for the program and has set a strong foundation of future success. He's acquired amazing statistical numbers on the court throughout his career. He's the new all-time scoring leader for St. Pius, finishing his career with nearly 2,000 points, 1,919 points through 4 seasons at St. Pius. He holds the school record for points in a season with 581. He holds the school record for points averaged in a season, 22.3, and he holds the record for 3-pointers made in a season, 84. and also three-pointers made in a career. He hit 238 shots from beyond the arc, and I know a lot of those were called on AM 1400 KJF and J-98 the boot throughout his career. Through his career, he's been named All-State as both a basketball and soccer player. Garrett has done much more than just played basketball and soccer over the last 4 years. He served as a class president, he's volunteered hundreds of hours to the community, and has been a dedicated Eagle Scout as well. He just recently held his own basketball clinic to help collect canned food for an Eagle Scout project. Over 50 grade school students attended that Eagle Scout project event. Garrett is going to be missed greatly by everyone at St. Pius, especially me being Coach Portell. And he has single-handedly turned this program around and made me a better coach. He's become a role model for so many younger kids that dream of someday becoming a Lancer basketball player. Garrett will be attending Fontbonne University, where he will continue his basketball career. Another big round of applause for Garrett McDowell from St. Pius. All right, and I guess the final presenter of the day today has racked up 33 wins in 2 seasons as head coach for his team. They won a share of the small schools title in the MAAA this year, and he also, I always like it when this happens, he gets the distinct pleasure of introducing his son, West County coach Chris LeBrier.
First off, I want to thank KTJJ, KREI, and KJF for not just covering basketball and wrestling, but all the sports in the area. I'm going to introduce Clayton LeBrier. He can go ahead and step up there. Clayton's one of 3 sophomores that made the Dream Team this year, which is quite an honor. I hope these kids realize the honor that they have by making the Dream Team. We talked a little bit about how much the area this covers, and it's quite an honor. And I remember when I made it when I was in high school, and kids always look forward to making the Dream Team. This is a pretty big deal. This year, Clayton averaged 15 points a game, 4 assists. He made 105 three-pointers this year, shot 38% from the three-point line, 78% from the free throw line. He didn't shoot many twos because he didn't like to go inside the three-point line very much, so that wasn't a big deal for him. Clayton's in a little different situation than a lot of these kids. He has to put up with his dad every day, and that's not always a good time. It's usually Clayton's fault if we turn the ball over or the other team scores or the other team gets an offensive rebound, and that's usually when he's sitting on the bench too. So I expect more out of him, and I think our relationship's grown over the past few years because of what we have to put up with. He has to put up with me, and I have to put up with him. So, but I'm proud as a coach, but I'm more proud of it as a dad that he has made the Dream Team this year, and that's Clayton LeBrier.
We're in the home stretch now today, and thanks for bearing with us throughout the ceremony. It's always a lot of fun to honor each and every athlete that makes the Dream Team every year. We've actually got another ceremony coming up in the spring, a quick turnaround for the spring sports. It's coming up on May the 29th, and I believe we'll be back at Mineral Area College for that one. But again, thanks for staying with us today. It's time to announce our Player of the Year, and remember the winner needs to come to center stage and collect their plaque and get the picture taken, and then can have a seat as we announce the Coach of the Year. But our Player of the Year is one of the seniors on the Dream Team this season, 6'4", number 32 for the Park Hills Central Rebels, Drew Skaggs. Our Coach of the Year this year is a Black River League tournament champion and OFC champion as well, Lewis Bell from Clearwater High School. Forgot to mention district champion as well.
Thank you. It's an honor, especially to be chosen by the fellow coaches. We know as coaches that it depends on the product that you put on the floor, and I had an outstanding group this year. They they had talent. They had a lot of desire. They got along great with each other. They played for each other, and it just made it a joy every day to come to the gym. And again, this is a reflection of the players that I had, and I appreciate them very much. Thank you.
I want to give one more big round of applause to not only the boys basketball dream team, but the entire dream team this year for 2013.